Hello and welcome to our third wall video. This particular video is going to focus on how to use the powerful profiles feature for third wall. We're going to show you an easy way to deploy policies, third wall protective policies, to multiple locations very easily. Now there are some restrictions and some things that you have to do properly, and a couple of different nuances that we're going to go through today. So let me bring up my Automate 12 Control Center. This should look familiar to most of you. And I'm going to open up an individual location, which is where most of the policy work is done for third wall. So I'm going to open up Demo right now. And there is our third wall tab. And as you can see, I don't have any policies applied at this time. Everything is yellow. And that makes it quite easy to show you some things. Now, what if I want to create a custom profile? That's the first thing I'm going to cover. It's very easy to do. Go into a location, and we recommend, by the way, if you're going to do this, that you create a new location with no computers in it. Just use it for creating profiles. And here's why. You can then go into, and let's say I want to go in here, and I want to set a minimum local password length, and I want to restrict local administration tools, and I want to, let's pick another one, disable UPnP. I'm not going to pick too many, just so you get the point. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save on all three of those policies. So if I go back to the overview page, you can see I've turned on those several policies, and there they are. Let's say that I like this group of policies and I want to deploy it to other locations and I want to do it fairly quickly. Well, I'm going to go ahead and save this current configuration as a profile. I'm going to save it and I'm going to name it, well, we'll call it client, we'll call this all clients just to be fun. And I'm going to click OK. Now, anybody who has access to the Automate Control Center can do what I just did. You can create profiles. So pretty straightforward. I'm now going to go and I'm going to change locations just to show you how this works. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to change this one. Let's say, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to add one more. So we'll disable Windows Store, save it. And again, I'll go back here and I'm going to save it. And what did I name it? I've already forgotten. Well, I think I called it all clients. Yep, there's what I saved it as, all clients. Now I'm going to save it as all clients again. I'm going to click OK, and it says, oh, it already exists. Well, I'm going to overwrite it. So you can overwrite what you want. Now, it's important to note that this only overwrites the settings. It doesn't change anything anywhere, even if you had previously deployed policies using all clients. Those will not be changed. This is just a setting in memory for you to use to easily deploy elsewhere. Okay, so there it is. I've got that. Now I'm going to go to a different location, and I'm going to say, I'm going to pick one of our test environments, location stack. I'm going to open location A. And I'm going to go to third wall, and you can see there's nothing there. Now I'm going to use the drop-down list, which is user class protected. You must be a third wall admin in order to use this. If you're not, you will get an error. So you become one by having a super admin make you one, but in standard Automate permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. I am a third wall admin, and there's all clients. And it turns things blue. Now, when it's blue, I have several choices. I can click Save, which will deploy these policies very quickly, obviously, to this one location. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click Save, and there they are in this location. Now, just to be fun, I'm going to actually do an undo on this location, which if you're not familiar with that function, this button right here does an undo for all policies active on this location. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click yes, I want to undo it. No, I don't want to abort. And so those are gone now. So you can see how easy that is to do. I'm going to reload it, and actually I'm going to reload a different one. I'm going to load this thing called No Brainers, which is a preloaded one. It starts with TW and is preloaded. So I'm going to I'm going to load No Brainers. And again, things turn blue, and blue does mean pending changes by profile, so nothing's happened yet. Now, no-brainers are something that we created, and we created a number of different built-in policies, but this one, it consists of policies that we know end users will not notice that you've deployed them. Makes them no-brainers, and that makes them unique in that you can deploy them without getting any pushback from end users. Good security, no pushback. Great combination, right? So that's why we call them no-brainers. Now, I could, again, save them to this one location if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click Apply Profile. That gets me into the Apply Profile mode, which brings up this pop-up box. So I can apply them to this location by clicking Save right now, and that's no different than if I clicked Save down here earlier. I can also save them to every location in this client. Now you notice I don't have on the screen, because it's impossible, a view of every location. I'm just looking at one, but I could click and deploy to every location in this client. Or I could click to and save to all of my clients that have the ThirdWall agent installed in them. Just that fast. If I click Save, it would deploy to a bunch of clients. I'm going to go back here to this client only. I could choose whichever I want. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Yes, I want to do that. And there it is. All done. Now let's go back to this client view, and you can see I have a whole bunch of locations in this client. I'm going to go to AE, just open up a random one, and you will see ThirdWall, and this should look very familiar. It's just what I chose in that profile, the no-brainer profile, and they're here as well. So that just shows you how you can do it. Now, if I want to, I can choose another profile as well. I'm going to pick data security. And you'll notice a few things turned blue, and there they are. That's ready for me to deploy as well. I'm going to just deploy it to this location, but I do have the option of deploying to an entire client or to every computer I have under management. Those are all available to me. But I'm going to just click Save to make a point here. Save. There it is. The important thing to notice here is those three turned green, and none of the other policies that were already green went away. Applying a profile on top of other policies that already exist, whether they were put there by profile or by manually turning on policies, will not erase or delete or undo any of those that already exist. So it's purely additive. Profiles are additive, or you can think of them as overlays to whatever exists already. They will never undo a policy that already exists. Now that's important if you're, for instance, deploying a bunch of policies to your entire client base. And again, those no-brainers are a good candidate for that. And then you come back and you do an interview of a particular client, and that client says, oh yeah, I want you to do this policy, that policy, and the other policy. You can create a custom profile for that one client, and you can, save it as configuration as a profile. Again, we recommend you do that on an empty location, and because it will impact no computers if there are no computers in there, and then save it, and then you can actually delete them out of that location. The profile settings will not go away. And then go ahead and apply those on top of the one profile that you applied globally. Now we do give you a tool in our website to help you and your clients choose which policies are appropriate for them. So under Resources, Onboard Your Client, we give you a couple of tools. One is this ThirdWall onboarding document. And if you open that, it lists every policy that we have available to you and why it's important and the impact on end users. A very brief description. And this can help you interview your clients as to which policies they want to choose, especially those that are not no-brainers. Things like, do you want us to disable reading and writing to optical media, so that they can help you decide what's appropriate for them. From this, you can then create a profile for that individual client. We have a companion document for this, which is the ThirdWall onboarding checklist, and it has just downloaded. So I will open that up and drag it onto this screen. Oh, there it goes. Enable editing, and you can see that this is listing of all of the policies, their key benefit, their user impact, and where there are settings, which settings you get to choose from, okay? And you can just use this to type in, yes, no, whatever happens with your interview as to which are appropriate for that given client, and then go back to your desk and create a profile for this given client. So a couple of nice tools for you to choose from. There's also a thing here that I want to show you as you think about which policies are appropriate, this policy matrix that we have created. And you can click here to show it, and it shows you different ways to think of policies. There's really a couple of different axes. One is how much will end users notice that you've deployed them? And again, if an end user doesn't notice that you're deploying it, good security, no notice, then we call those no-brainers. However, you might have to ask, you should probably ask about all of these that are on the upper level of this matrix. Down on this one is what's the impact on the MSP, or if you're not an MSP, on you as a sysadmin. One element is going to prevent headaches. The other is going to create different value. If you are an MSP, you should consider some of these policies to generate revenue. So look at that as you're considering which policies to choose and which to deploy where. All right, so that is a good look at profiles and how they work. Oh, one last thing. Let me go to something. Well, here's this was deployed by our no-brainer profile. So if I want to go in here, for instance, and go to local user account management on this one location, and let's get rid of the minimum local password length on this one location. I'm going to undo it, click OK, and it goes away permanently. So you see that's gone back to yellow. Profiles are not dynamic, and again, I think I mentioned this. They will not enforce things that were there originally on that profile. They strictly are an easy way for you to right now deploy a bunch of policies to one or more locations. They don't retain a memory in the location of even how that policy got here. So you can customize any location you want to, even after you applied policies using a profile. Well, that's it. That's how you use profiles. I hope that was helpful to you in figuring out how to protect your computers and your clients in the world of ThirdWall. We think it is a great lockdown tool that you should be using across as many computers as you can to prevent those many malware and other types of bad actors from disrupting your environment. So stay safe, and thanks again for using ThirdWall.